Welcome to Let's Talk Books, Unscripted. So this is a series we're doing, husband and wife who love to read. This is unscripted, unedited, so what you see, what you hear, that's what you get.
You've done this, by the way, like the last few times. You point to me and say husband and wife and point to yourself. So just so you know.
Well, whatever.
He needs to switch it around.
Maybe
I had to call you out on it.
Keep an eye out for episode 6. What are you drinking tonight? We're drinking different things tonight.
Yeah, I'm drinking this yummy Fresca mixed thing. So if you like tequila, it does have tequila in it, but it's like a tequila and soda combination. It's pretty good.
It was good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm having Zombie Dust from Three Floyds Brewing Company. If you're into IPAs, this is a great beer. This is what I never get sick of, but the name's also pretty awesome. But Zombie Dust, I'd recommend it. Real tasty.
Yeah, we could also sit here and recommend beverages as well, in addition to books. If you're into craft beer,
We like to recommend
whatever,
things.
Coffee.
So we're gonna do things a little differently today. We're kind of still reading the same books we read last week. We're working on them, so we're gonna touch on one of the books, kind of update you where we're at. But we're also gonna talk about some books we want to read coming up in June.
I hope you have a lot of time.
We have a stack. This might be 15 minutes. It could
I'll
be.
try to go through.
It could be 100 minutes. We don't know, but we're gonna touch on some books, just ones we're looking forward to reading in June, and it should be fun.
Mm-hmm.
We have a lot of books. We should let you know our TBR is
Mine
probably
especially is out of control.
our
I
TBR
don't
bookshelf.
know.
With maybe 200 to 300 books. We still
I mean, that's not including the books that I marked that I want to read.
and
on Goodreads.
growing.
So
Yeah.
if you're on Goodreads and you get lost in the whole you see who's reading something, you're like, oh, that looks good. Click, want to read. I'm pretty sure the last time I clicked one, I could see my number and it was easily in the 700 to 800.
Yeah,
so I don't think I'm gonna get to read all of those books before I die, which is pretty sad.
But even the ones we own
The ones
at our
that
house
ones
today,
we own.
we have a
There's
couple
lot.
hundred
Yeah.
still. So that's good. So what do you think? I want you to touch on yours first.
So this was one I talked about last time that I am much further into. So you can kind of see where, I don't know if you can see where my bookmark is, but I think just about at 60% of the way through. So, and that is an amount left that I could actually knock out tonight. I would have to stay up pretty late to do it, but I'm a pretty fast reader, so I might do it. I may get too tired and have to finish up tomorrow. But yeah, this is really, really good. I feel like so far it's been living up to the hype. So I'll be excited to jump into the next book in the series. I don't have it in this stack, but I'm sure I'll get to it sooner rather than later this summer. But I have it. And the second one in this duology is called The Ruthless Vows. So yeah, I don't know that I would call it a quick read necessarily. It's not fast paced, but it's enough happening still to keep me invested in. It's a good love story. It's an enemies to lovers, or you could say, they're rivals. They use the word rival. Sure. They are not I will say they're not a couple at this point, and I'm 60% of the way through. So, you could call it a slow burn too. But no, I just feel like there's a lot going on with the story in general, not just the love story that I think propels the story forward. So
that's important.
So I really like it.
So one that I'm 115 pages into You Shouldn't Have Come Here, and I gotta say it's getting crazy. There's stuff that's starting to happen that I'm getting really suspicious, and I'm starting to kind of have my theories. I'm sure I'm wrong, but I have my theories.
I told him he can't say anything out loud to me to where I might give something away. Yeah. I'm he needs to wait until
Katie
he's
already
totally
read
done,
this, so
I've already read
I think
it.
she's waiting for me to finish it because
I don't want to it's where you don't want to have to put on a face or be don't say that because I might reveal something if you're right or if you're wrong.
Yeah, the last book I read by Geneva Rose, I had no idea. I had no theories, so we'll see. Maybe I'm right, but I'm probably wrong. But this book's really good. I'm going through it fairly slowly, but I think I'll pick it up now because it's getting crazy.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yes.
It's a good one. She doesn't write a bad book, so of course they're all good.
So you got 5 in your
I have a lot,
stack.
but I'll try to go through
I have
somewhat
3.
quickly.
So yeah, we'll move through.
This one right here is one that we're going to be reading for my book club that I do with mostly friends, but my mom is in my book club too, which is really fun. So yeah, I've been like toying with the idea of doing like a virtual book club as well. So that's something I might come on in the future and talk about if I start doing that. But this one is my in-person book club, and we meet once a month. So this is going to be the book we talk about in June. I have not started it yet because I'm still trying to finish up my May books, which are not on my lap right now.
1 week left. 1 week left.
So yeah, I think and a lot of times I like to wait till we're like a little closer to meeting, not to where I'm like down to the wire to finish it, but just so that it's like really fresh in my mind before we talk about it, because I do read so many books. So this is a historical fiction book. It's called The Bookwoman of Troublesome Creek, and I think it is based on like true events. So it's like a book about books. You can't go wrong there. So I'm excited. I've heard really, really good things about this one.
Why don't you do one more?
Do one more.
Why don't
Okay.
you move on?
So this one, and it has June in the title, 7 Days in June.
You have to read it.
So I have to read it in June.
100%.
I'm such a mood reader. I think I've said that before. So I feel like, yeah, and I've known about this book in the past, and I've always just like missed it. So then I'm like, oh, June passed, now I can't read it, which I know that's just silly. But I just think there's something to be said for like, you know, if this book takes place in June and I read it in June, that's kind of fun. I think this book has a little bit of magical realism in it. And I got like turned on to this book more so even after I saw her next one come out. So I have that one as well from the same author. So I feel like after I read this, I'm probably going to want to bump that one up on my TBR too, because I've heard really good things about that one as well. That one's called A Love Song for Ricky Wilde. But yeah, 7 Days in June. It's a love story. And Reese's book club has, you know, her stamp of approval on it, so I'm sure it's going to be a good one.
It's gotta be. If Reese approves, we approve.
Yeah.
All right. So what I'm looking forward to is Hidden Pictures by Jason Rekulak. This is a book Katie bought for me, but I think she
And
bought
for me.
like she's
both
like,
of us.
I bought you this book, but like when you finish it, I want to read it too.
The Target book sale, and I was like, I'll get something for you too, but like, yeah, it's all
Which is perfect. So we like to read a lot of the same. It's like nice when we read the same books.
Yeah, yeah.
But this looks like a pretty good book, and it's getting a lot of good reviews. It includes a topic that's kind of creepy to me, which is creepy kids. There's a 5-year-old boy who starts drawing some kind of sketchy pictures, and it does have pictures in it, which is pretty
like
cool.
actual
If I can find one quick, but it's
yeah, so it's got some cool illustrations.
It's gonna be an interesting read for June. Because I think it's gonna be pretty creepy, but it's getting a lot of great reviews, and this will be the first book I think either of us have read by him.
Yeah.
And so we'll keep you updated on this
Yeah,
one.
because that'll be one we can do a joint review on.
I'm very excited.
He'll read it first,
We'll
and then
both
I'll read it in July most likely.
She bought it for me, you know, so I'll read it first, and then she'll read it next. But so we're looking forward to this book for sure.
Okay, I guess I can do another one. Okay, or maybe I'll do a 2-for-1, because these come from the same publisher who I've actually connected with on Instagram. So that's pretty cool. I had already had this one that I had purchased, and we actually have it in one of our reels. If you've watched it on here, and we've shared it on Instagram. But this one is featured, I believe, in our book sandwich, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
And Emma did like the reel. She
so
did
the
comment
author, I think people she knows tagged her in it, and that's how she found it. So I don't remember if she followed me back or not, but either way, she commented on the reel and thought that was pretty cool. And I felt bad that like when we made it, I still hadn't even read the book. Still to this day haven't even read it. So I'm like, I need to bump this one up and read it. It's called The Last Love Note, and it's from Zibby Publishing, Zibby Books. Yeah. So yeah, this is kind of like a second chance romance story. So it does start off kind of sad. The main character does lose her husband, but then I think she finds love again, I believe is what the premise of this one is.
Can I interrupt you for a second? If you like the book sandwich reel, okay, we haven't mentioned on YouTube yet, but we just got them made. It's a book sandwich sticker that we're selling on our Etsy page. So we will make sure to link that in the description. But we have a sticker made of a book sandwich.
Sandwich.
Pretty cute, great for water bottles and Kindles or on your face, whatever you want to do. But we'll link that in the description if you want to get yourself a book sandwich. It'd be greatly appreciated. All proceeds go to buying more books.
Well, and just being able to keep doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
We like to be
more
able
books,
to
more
promote
content,
books, and all that good stuff.
So.
So we had this one sandwiched between like two thrillers or something. We had a romance between two thrillers.
It was part of the reel.
And then because I think after like this author noticed our reel, I was like, oh, I'm gonna reach out to this publisher too, because I'm really wanting to get some more advanced reader copies, ARCs is what they call them. And so I've been kind of just like reaching out to publishers and being bold that way and being like, this is how many followers I have. Like, I'd love to read something ahead of publishing date. And they sent me this book then. So this one's called Wedding Issues. And I think this will be a really fun summer read, especially because summer is a big wedding season. So I think that'll fit really well into summertime. This is the ARC version, even though it has published. So it did publish in April. So not super long ago. So it'll still be really fun to read it not too far after the publishing date. And I got this cute little card from them with the book. So I think I'm supposed to be getting a couple more books from them in the future. So that'll be kind of fun.
That'd be great.
So both from the same publisher. I thought I'd knock them out in the same month. As you can tell so far, I'm feeling the love. Thrillers have actually been my first love for a long time. But I'm liking the romance. He's rubbed off on me, I guess, because he's been reading a lot of romance.
I can't blame you.
I'm sure there will be a thriller or two thrown into my June reading, but these are the ones I'm talking about right now. So,
speaking of romances, if you've known me at all, you know that I love the rom-com, and specifically a rom-com with a clever title. I'll never judge a book by its cover, but I'll judge it by its title. This is, I've got my mind set on brew. I mean,
speaking of,
seriously,
brews.
I like beer, I like rom-coms, I love clever titles. So this one I'm going to read in June. It's an enemies to lovers rom-com where they work at a brewery.
Yeah, I spotted that one at Barnes & Noble when I was there for like a fun, what was it? It was like an author release, book release party with a friend. And neither of us had heard of that before. Yeah. I just was browsing
She sent me a picture of it, and I was like,
yes, need it.
I gotta have it. And if you know of any rom-coms with clever titles, please tell me. Please comment, because I'm a sucker.
You can't.
If I see it, I'm gonna buy it, and I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna love it. Mm-hmm. But I'm excited about this one. I mean,
all the different, and I should show them the chapter, the title. All the chapters have different beer names or kinds of beer.
Chapter 5 is blonde ale.
Blonde ale.
I mean, that kind of stuff
beer,
just gets me.
Fun.
I
know.
I love that detail. So this is gonna be a great read. I'm sure it's gonna be amazing. Mm-hmm. Looking forward to it greatly.
And the last one I have, another one with June in the title. So can you see? I just can't help myself. And I thought it'd be kind of fun to have a couple books that are the magical realism. Mm-hmm. I've been kind of into that. That was what was in your recent read, the Kindred Spirits Supper Club. I've been recently into that as well. So this one's called The Unmaking of June Farrow, I think is how you say it. It's a really, really pretty cover too. At first I was like, this seems more like a creepy read for Halloween time, but I think I'm gonna allow it and read it in June. But it just the little blurb about it says, a woman risks everything to end her family's centuries-old curse, solve her mother's disappearance, and find love in this mesmerizing novel from the best-selling author of Spells for Forgetting. Cool. So I have not read that one, and I'll probably be interested to pick that one up after I read this, but I've heard really good reviews. It looks like it'll be a pretty creepy, yet it seems like it's got a love element as well. So I think this could I don't think they would categorize it as a thriller, but it obviously seems like there's, some kind of mystery involved, because it says a mother's disappearance. So it seems like it's got a couple different things going for it, and I'm anxious to check it out. So
that sounds good.
Yeah, so I have kind of a little bit of a variety going on, but
So you do. That's good. You gotta have variety. Spice of life.
Yeah,
We've
right.
heard that.
Right?
So the next book I'm going to talk about is from a series. It was actually a television series on Showtime called Dexter. So this is book 1 of the Dexter series, Darkly Dreaming Dexter. If you've watched the series, please comment below. We loved it.
Mm-hmm.
So Katie actually bought me all 8 books for Christmas. And I have not started them yet, but I'm yeah, it's going to be awesome. Obviously, I know how the story goes.
It'll be interesting to see if, because I know that things will be different in the books, you know.
If you didn't know it, it's from a series of books, and this is the first one. There's 8 books.
Until later, I feel like.
Correct.
Yeah.
So
that they were books.
I'll be curious to see how it's similar, but if you know Dexter, you know. I mean, it's just a brilliant.
You have to be into serial killer stories.
It's kind of a brilliant series. It's really, yeah.
It's weird to call it humor, but it is like a dark humor.
Just
is really kind of what the show was about, and I'm sure how the book.
Very clever. It's just, it's hard to explain, but if you know, you know the phrase. But I'm looking forward to getting into this series.
Mm-hmm. And see, I'm gonna want to read them eventually too, but my issue is that I struggle with series.
It's just so good.
I read a lot of standalone books, but I do like series.
8 books is a lot.
It's a lot.
8 books is a lot. So this is the first one.
You can always have palate cleansers.
So maybe if I did
read it, but then wait a little bit to start book 2.
If I could maybe do maybe a book a month or a book every month or 2.
Every other month.
It's just hard because I know the story.
Yeah.
So it's hard to get into it, but I think it's gonna be awesome.
But it's almost like instead of rewatching the series, you're reading the books instead. So if you look at it that way.
Yeah. So me and Katie, when we were the show was still on TV, we got Showtime so we could watch it. We had friends that came over every Sunday night to watch Dexter.
For Showtime.
And we watched the whole series, and it was just really cool. So the fact that now I can read all the books and I own them all. I mean, that was one of my Christmas gifts, like I said, this past Christmas. So it's time to dig in.
Yeah.
As Dexter would say. What did he say?
No, he goes, tonight's the night.
Tonight's the night to read the book. So if you watch the series, let us know. Or if you read the books, let us know, because I'd love to hear your perspective on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did we get through all the books?
We did. I mean, not in a timely fashion, but hopefully you've stuck around.
We're at about 18 minutes. But yeah, let us know what you're currently reading.
Or what your June TBR might look like.
Yeah, how many books are you looking to read in June? And we love to hear any recommendations. I mean, we have a lot of books, but we're always looking for recommendations. And that's the reason our TBR is growing so much, is because people are recommending too many books.
Oh man, I gotta get off.
And by too many, I mean the right amount of books.
I'll never get off books to read.
No, it's too good for us.
Yeah.
So
that's a wrap.
Thank you for watching. This is episode 5.
I think so.
So go back and watch the previous 4. What I say, we're at 799 subscribers. We're looking to get to 800 on YouTube.
Well, we're 1,000, but we have a little ways to go yet.
You gotta get to 800
tell
first.
Your friends.
So if you're 800, you're my best friend. Thank you very much.